decided to try to record something different by switching the camera around for a wider view, an accelerated view of an accelerated blue. Just wanted to start rhyming. But I wanted to name this video Who to Be. And I guess I call it Who to Be is because sometimes I wonder, or sometimes I personally feel that my view of things are sometimes, or is sometimes accelerated, meaning that sometimes I recognize that the things that I do aren't good for me, but I do it anyway. In terms of, let's say, the stuff that I eat, diet, I realize that the stuff that I bring home or feed my family sometimes is bad for them. I know that it's bad for them, but I realize that, we eat it anyway, and the way that it makes us feel when we eat it, the happiness, we're good when we're eating pizza and all that good stuff like that. So I recognize that all that stuff is bad. I mean, I obviously know that it's bad, but at the same time, I don't know. Well, I guess it's bad because I know that there are things that I can do to do better, but I still don't. So that's partly where I question my own intelligence and diligence or weakness or whatever it might be. And I'm still wondering, I'm sitting up here drinking a cup of juice, and I know that I should not be drinking juice because in my mind, every time I drink something like that, I get these comments in my head telling me it's like sugar water, or ultimately what it ultimately is. It's a bunch of sugar in liquid form that I'm drinking and all that. But damn, it tastes good, especially fruit punch or whatever it might be. And I know that's terrible, and I'm aware of all that. But yet I still do it, and I participate in it, and I allow my family to participate in it as well. But just one of the things, that's just food. I'm talking about many different levels of who we actually are and why we actually do a lot of the things that we do. Every time I walk out of the house, I realize that I have to look in the mirror to make sure that I look okay in case somebody sees me not looking okay. And when they see me not looking okay, I guess I'm afraid that they'll beat me, bludgeon me, or they'll do something. But I know that I'm always concerned about what others think or how others see me because of my own innate nature to check myself before I leave and walk out of the house. And I know that everybody's a part of that. Everybody does the same thing that I do, but I'm only talking about me. I'm not talking about anybody else. So this is just the things that I do because I like to belong. I have a sense of belonging, and I do a lot of the things that I do what the Joneses do a lot of the times because of all that sense of belonging, even though I know some of the things don't make sense and I don't agree with some of the things, and this is diet, this is views in life and other things, but but still, you still like to belong. And a lot of times I realize that a lot of people are belonging to things that I don't think that they would agree to if they were looking at things from a slightly different angle. I won't even say higher level, but just a different view. But in my mind, it's a little challenging sometimes when I see that view isn't accepted, and at the same time I have to realize that there's a lot of shit that I'm currently doing right now that an older me might be looking back saying, dude, when you were 54, you were still doing this shit, you were still eating that food, you were still being a hypocrite in so many things. So I think that way, and I can't be angry at anybody because I'd be angry at myself at the same time. So that's not the purpose of this conversation. I guess the purpose of the conversation is to know who you are and who is. I mean, sometimes I think about the divorce rates and things like that, and how they have they say it's like 50-50 going into a marriage. You got a 50% chance of making it and a 50% chance of not making it. And I'm wondering if that's simply because people don't know who they really are. I mean, from a very early age, we're told to do all these things against our natural human selves, against our natural bodies. And this is in terms of haircuts, makeup, shaving, all these other things that you kind of do before you really understand who you are. So, before you start shaving, before you start putting makeup on, these things are kind of taught to you, before you before you actually even agree to it. So a lot of times, I think, in my personal opinion, there are so many things about us that we resist in terms of our natural selves. And like I said, I don't know if I'm talking about going around being a caveman or looking crazy, or I did it myself when I said looking crazy. That's so much of a built-in perception, because I don't know what looking crazy is. If a person walks around and doesn't shave or doesn't cut their hair, I subconsciously and obviously consciously related them to a crazy person. Obviously, I got that perception of crazy from someplace, and a lot of people can relate to it because we all get it from the same place, which I believe is media, TV, all that. But that's just an example just now of how we have these subliminal perceptions that are just built into us, and you kind of have to be aware of it and recognize it as it spits out, just like I just did. But the point is that, there are so many things like that we have within us that we resist. And I'm not going to even go into the deodorants and all this, the antiperspirants and all these anti-things. What is antiperspirant about? Isn't that just it? I guess if you're funky, you're funky. But I think a lot of that also has to do with the diet and all that. But it's just these things that we do that are automatically against us. Like when I look in the mirror right when I'm shaving, I trim my face, and when I'm trimming, I'm actually removing certain hairs on my face so that they won't look a certain way, whether it be unneat or the lines have to be perfect or something like that. But at the same time, if I think about it logically, I'm removing particular hairs on my face, and I'm leaving other hairs on my face. The hairs that I'm taking off, I don't know why, if they're wondering if they're being, or why they're being executed, meaning cut off. I'm trying to get too damn deep. But bottom line, I'm just saying that, when we shave and when we do these things or make these changes to ourselves, I'm just wondering why we have the desire to do so. A lot of it is societal. People have to shave, I guess. People have to, shave underarms hair, all this stuff, all kind of hairs. Some of it's just fashion or whatever. And I've heard different reasons as to why we do these things to modify ourselves. But I think a lot of the reasons why we change ourselves is part of the same reasons why we don't know ourselves. And part of the inner conflicts we have as individuals and as a society, because we're taught these things. A lot of it is also associated with this built-in consumerism that we have. These things that we're meant to buy, these brushes that I buy to brush my hair, to lotions that I have to lube my hands up. These things are kind of built in. These behaviors that we have are built into society. Not society. I'm looking for the word for commercialism, products and all that. But it's kind of built into all of that. So anyway, just wanted to spit a lot of that out. Who am I? Who should I be? Am I Bryant? That label, the name. Who is Bryant? Bryant was a name given to me by my parents. But if it were up to me, would I call myself Bryant? I don't know. Maybe I call myself number 1 or X or something. Here's the word, crazy, like that. But anyway, that's just my point of view, shooting it to you live from downtown